A poor man was sitting in a small room that the community had given to him on a pile of straw that he called a bed with his wife next to him. He turned to his wife and he said, "Well, dear, it seems the Baal Shem Tov's prediction has come true." She says, "Yeah, it seems so." The man says, "You know, honey, the Baal Shem Tov gave us a decision. He said if we forget or forego all our wealth, that we'd be given the son that we always wanted." She agrees. She says, "Yes." He said, "So, was it all worth it?" And she looks at him and she says, "Well, Matzel, I think it was worth it. I just wish that the transition from riches to rags hadn't come so quickly. It seemed like just after the Baal Shem Tov gave us the decision and we decided we wanted the child, that everything went away. As immediately we walked outside and you distributed all your wealth that you had in your pockets. And then as we were walking home, people came running to tell us that our house had been burned down. And then as we walked through the gates to look at what was once our beautiful home, we were notified that the merchant ship that we owned had sunken, and everything, all the cargo with it. It just felt too quick, too much of a shock." So yeah, he says, "I understand, I agree. But the Baal Shem Tov gave us this blessing, this child. He could surely help us reclaim some of our wealth. Perhaps I should go speak to him." And she looked at him and she said, "Yeah, maybe you should. I don't know." And so Motel, not wanting to see his wife in any more pain or sorrow, decided he was going to go. So he made the journey over to Mezebosh, and he went to see the Baal Shem Tov and told him about all that was going on and that he would hope that the Baal Shem Tov could give them a brecha for more wealth. And the Baal Shem Tov told him that indeed he could reclaim his wealth, but all he would have to do is travel to a place so far away that they don't know the Baal Shem Tov's name. So Motzel immediately went home, told his wife, packed up the little that they had, and they started making journey from village to village, asking people if they knew the Baal Shem Tov, until they got to a place where no one knew the Baal Shem Tov. Now, settled in this town, Motzel starts going around, trying to figure out where is his wealth going to come from. As he's walking, he hears screaming coming from inside of a house, a big house. So Motzel goes over to the door, knocks on the door, and the door opens. A rich man is standing there, and he says, "How can I help you?" So Motzel says, "I'm sorry, I heard this screaming. I just want to know if there's some way I could help you." The man says, "You help me? I don't need the help. It's my daughter that needs the help. You see, she's been married for a while now, but every time she goes to the mikveh to immerse herself, to become ritually clean, she gets contaminated before she gets home, and they haven't been able to have children forever, or for a while." And so Motzel says, "Oh, well, there's this man, his name is the Baal Shem Tov, and he gives blessings that help solve these problems. Perhaps you should go see him." So the man says, "What? If there were a man like this, I would surely know about it. But if this is true, no doubt I would give half of my wealth to whoever could solve this problem." So Motzel says, "Then you have to do it. You have to go right now." So the man Motzel takes his daughter, gets in a carriage, and goes straight to see the Baal Shem Tov. They go to the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov listens to the story, understands the issue, says, "Okay, send your daughter home, and you, me, and Motzel, we're going to go somewhere." And the three of them get into the Baal Shem Tov's carriage, which we know travels not normally. And before they know it, in little time, they're already in this new town. They don't know what's going on, but there's a house right off of the side of the road. Baal Shem Tov, without saying a word, gets out of the carriage, walks into the house, followed by these two gentlemen. And inside, it's the house of a man that just had his 10th child, his 10th boy, and the previous 9 had all been snatched away in the night. It says in the story some kind of satanic, demonic, whatever things are taking his children. So this night, they have 10 men sitting up, studying Torah all night to help protect this child. And the Baal Shem Tov walks in, looks at one of the men sitting there, and gives him a nod. The man gets up from his chair, and the two of them walk outside into the dark forest that's next to the house. And the Baal Shem Tov and this man go and stand by a tree in this dark forest. After a little while, the Baal Shem Tov screams, "Okay, I'm ready, throw the child to me." And some random voice breaks the silence on the other side of the forest and screams, "No, not him, throw it to me, throw it to me." Next thing you know, the Baal Shem Tov has the child in his hand, and he gives him to the gentleman with him, tells him, "Take the child into the house right now, and tell her, 'Father, I'll be there in the morning to do the bris.'" And the Baal Shem Tov goes back to his carriage, takes Motzel and the rich man, and they go to the rich man's house. The carriage gets there after this weird episode at the bris. The Baal Shem Tov says, okay, let's go to the mikveh. So the three men go to the mikveh, and the Baal Shem Tov takes his staff and hits the water. And as he strikes the water turns a blood red. He says, take all of this water out and refill it with new water, and then there'll be no problem. So they do. Everyone clears the room, the daughter goes, immerses in the mikveh, and indeed everything goes smoothly and she makes it home no problem. The man is overjoyed. The rich man looks at the Baal Shem Tov and says, how can I repay you for such a gift? And the Baal Shem Tov says, well, tell me, how did you even come to all this wealth in the first place? So the rich man says, oh, it's a very interesting story. You see, I am an investor and I buy and resell things. And I heard that there's a merchant ship that sunk, and they're able to salvage all the cargo. And so I knew they were selling it for cheap, so I really bought all as much as I could and started to resell it. I sold it all for double. And this is where I made most of my wealth. So Baal Shem Tov says, I see. You have to understand that this merchant ship belongs to Motzel over here. That he used to be the owner of that ship, and what would be the right thing to do would be to assess your assets, to value it, and to give half of it to him. The man didn't hesitate. He brought in his accountant immediately. They did the numbers, and the rich man gave Motzel half his wealth. And the rich man asked that the Baal Shem Tov stay there for the night. But the Baal Shem Tov responded, I would love to, but I have a bris that I need to be at tomorrow, and so I have to go. And that's the story. I hope everyone is having a good Moed and a good Sukkot so far.